You fit in so far in these first couple of games?
I'm definitely just working, put in hard work, and I've just been adjusting. Doing whatever coach wants me to do, and being ready when my opportunity comes.
What's been the toughest thing to get a hold of, to get a grasp of?
It's just a new team, new system. Just adjusting to having new guys and playing a different way.
Jair, what did you see out of Trey Hannibal? I guess in the minutes he was able to play Wednesday.
What did I say to him?
Yeah, or what did you see out of him?
Just incredible energy. His defensive presence is amazing, and being able to, learn the offense. And, he made some freshman mistakes out there that's to be expected coming from a freshman, but, he's being aggressive and he's learning, and how much room he has for growth and how good I think he's going to be.
Jair, did you think you had any growing pains in these first couple of games since it's been a while since you got out there and played?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was on scout team a lot last year, so Coach Martin I was running the other team's offense a lot, so being in this offense and this defense and just learning it all, and like Kay said, just taking it step by step.
It seemed like the other night that press that they broke out early seemed to bother all you guys. What was the biggest problem with that?
Just they had a lot of aggressive guards that playing defense, little guards that I guess we're having a little bit of trouble with. But, we had a good press break put in. Coach Martin put in a good press break, and just running that kind of got us able to run out and get some easy points.
Okay, there were a couple times on Wednesday where I think at one point there was legit four guards, not even Micaiah in there. It was like four guys and you. Have you played much with four-guard lineups in your career?
Yeah, I've had some experience with different lineups like that, just being around, playing for 3 years. That's definitely something that we'll have to get good at, Whatever coach has to throw out there, whatever the condition might be, we have to go out there and be ready to play.
Okay, what have you seen from Jalen McCrary so far?
Jalen's been playing really well early on. He's been crashing the boards well, finishing around the rim well, and he's really just scratching the surface of the potential. I think he'll have a really good career here.
Is he a guy that's come up to you and asked for advice on just, how to play, how to be at this level?
Yeah, I mean, we all just kind of talk to each other. We all pull things from each other, Me being an older guy, I'm just always trying to encourage him and keep him going strong.
What's something that's jumped out to you guys? Obviously, just the first game, getting the kinks out, but what's something that jumped out to you guys was an opportunity on Sunday to kind of improve on out there for either one of you?
I think we obviously have a lot of room to improve, definitely rebounding the ball, and maybe just cutting out some turnovers. I think that's just some things that we'll get as we start to really get our rotations down on defense and just really learn each other well, get the chemistry built, and learn the system better on offense.
Jair, did you go on the Wyoming trip last year, or did you have to stay back here?
No, I had to stay back.
Because you watched it on TV, I'm assuming. Just what did you see the problem was there? Obviously, that loss really loomed over the rest of the season. What do you think was the biggest key to them dropping that game?
I think it was a learning experience for our young guys. We had a lot at that point. It was our sixth game of the year, and we had a whole bunch of freshmen, and we were in foul trouble early. And I think just having the freshmen and the older guys who were there learning how to play with foul trouble and while still being aggressive, I think was a problem for us. But we watched that film and we're trying to learn from that.
How tough is that when you're watching from across the country and you're a part of this team and you're around it, and then you can't help them in that situation?
Yeah, it's tough. It makes me really excited for this game because I watched that from home and saw ways that I could have helped or things that I would have done that I feel like I could have done out there. And, now I get to play them, so it's exciting. And I'm looking forward to learning from the mistakes that I watched and, with the things that they did well.
What have you seen out of Wyoming for both of you guys on tape, what you've been able to see from them?
They have some talented guys out there. They got some shooters. They got a returning team. They pretty much lost, I think, 2 players that were in the starting lineup. So they have an experienced team, and they play hard. So it's going to be a good challenge for us.
How much has Coach Martin brought up that game from last year in sort of various different contexts?
I mean, we don't, Coach Martin's really big on moving forward and taking one game at a time. But, as players and staff, we all know that we dropped that one last year. So just looking forward and having that extra aggression, trying to get us a win on Sunday.
Jared, Frank talked about how your and Frank's relationship, trying to kind of get a feel for each other and how he wants you to be a little more aggressive instead of kind of staying at your own type of pace. How big of a challenge has that been, and where do you think you are in fitting into how he wants you to play?
It's been a challenge. I've never played. I've never played an offense that was running this fast and a defense that was this aggressive. So just learning that and trying to still be the player that I am, that he knows that I can be, while learning from him and running his offense. It's been tough, but every day I'm working at it, trying to get better, and he's been helping me a lot. I go in there, watch film with him, have meetings with him, and he tells me what he sees out there, things I need to get better at, and just being able to listen to him and soak it all up. So because he's the one with all the success, not me. So just listening to everything that he's saying and being able to be the best version of myself that I can be within this system.
Okay, just speaking for all the big guys, how much have you guys had to change what you want to do with Key being out?
I think we were sort of prepared. I think Frank just sort of had with a lot of different looks throughout the preseason. We definitely miss Key. We're really looking forward to having him back. But I think that we've been pretty well prepared. It's just really all about going out and executing what he has out there for us to do.
I know he was a guy that would sometimes like to step out on the wing and shoot a jumper. Is that something that the rest of you big guys are saying, well, maybe I can go do that too?
That's something that maybe as the season goes on, we'll see more of. Just something that we'll have to work into our games and just let the game come to us.
What have conversations been like with you and Frank, kind of moving on from that game? What did he like from your performance, and what did he say you can probably work on?
I think that he just he wants me to stop overthinking things as much and just really just go out and play the game. He knows that I have a lot of adjusting to do, like learning his system, but at the end of the day, it's just basketball, and he wants me to play and play hard.
What was the biggest eye-opening thing for you coming out and playing? I guess in your first, you played the exhibition, but first real game, Colonial Life.
I would just say biggest eye-opening thing. Maybe I'd say the pace is a little bit different here. John, the guards, they really push the ball. We're really looking to get up and down. So that'll be an adjustment going forward, but I think that's something that'll really play into our favor as we go forward.
Jermaine went out there the other day and had 4 points in the block within his first 30 seconds. Were you thinking, here, you've seen this script before?
Yeah, I was excited. I mean, he's a real talented player, and when he just as excited as I was to be out there for the first time, I was excited for him because we did it together. All the guys that ever had to redshirt last year from injuries or anything, just being able to see all of us out there, playing is really exciting, especially a guy like Jermaine, who I know put in the work and had to redshirt all last year. So it was really exciting.